7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hey, what's up, fam? Welcome back to this episode of 49 Faithfully. We're your hosts, Mariah Lee and Taryn Lewis, and today we're joined by a very special guest, our Las Vegas brother, Lawrence from Platform 246. What's up, fellas? How you guys doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Yeah, just glad to be on. We just started OTA, so I know there's a lot for us to talk about, and I can't wait to get this started.
Absolutely, sir. I'm also doing good. What's up to all the faithful? What's happening to you? Thank you to Mariah and Taryn for having me on. It's been a long time that I've been, cool with y'all or following the channel, and I've been trying to get to be one of the friends and shit at some point. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that you had me now. Thank you.
Yeah.
You've always been one of the friends, so it's just hard because Taryn has such a crazy schedule. So for me to be able to schedule people to come on, it's like, and like I've left you hanging in the freaking inbox for how long to try to schedule a time because I have to wait. Like I'm just on hold till he texts and says, okay, let's do a show this time, But, so I'm on hold till then. So, so yeah.
I'm a very patient man.
Yep. I'm glad we finally got it worked out.
Patience, yes, sir.
What's up, chat? Hope everybody's doing great on this. What is today? Wednesday. Wonderful Wednesday.
West Coast.
Big City Man, what's up? How you doing? We are streaming to both channels, so if you guys aren't subscribed to one or the other, please make sure you guys go do that. I do have Lawrence's channel info in the description of this video, so if you're not subscribed to him, please follow that link and go subscribe to our friend.
Same with me, please. If you check I'm sorry, Mariah. If you do come through on our channel and you're not subscribed to this podcast, these are two of my favorite people. Literally, that's no hyperbole, no joke. Yeah. So please subscribe to their channel. I would really appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate that.
Don, how you doing? Good to see you. Tell the girls we said hi as well. JDLR, my friend, he finally told us last night. Were you in the chat still when he told us what JDLR stands for?
No, what does it stand for?
So it stands for his name. His name is long. Like his first name's Jesus. So Jesus de la yada yada yada, whatever his name is. That's how that. So each letter of his name is JDLR. So all this time that we've been asking him, he finally told us yesterday.
I'm gonna guess Jesus De Leon Luis Rodriguez.
Off the dome.
The most
off the
Hispanic
dome.
name you could have, Rodriguez.
I sure did. Jesus De La Riba. Okay, cool.
Steva, what's up? Bebop-a-roni, how you doing? Oh,
What's happening, Bebop?
Jesus de la Riva. Okay.
Jesus de la
I won't
Riva.
remember,
Cool.
but
I will.
We know I can't remember shit, so
that's
good
facts.
just hanging out with the girls. They said hello. That's good. I'll try to be on my best behavior since the girls are watching. I try not to, be breaking out their eardrums with no bad words. So yeah, we know that our quarterbacks. First, let me get your thoughts on this. Our quarterbacks spoke to the world yesterday. So the day before, a lot of content creators, a lot of people on Twitter around, I'm hearing the buzz, everybody's talking about who do you think's going to talk tomorrow during the pressers? Oh, well, it's not going to be a quarterback. It's not going to be a quarterback. It's not going to be a quarterback. Everybody's saying this, right? So I was thinking, like, who are they going to have? Probably Juice, like the typical people that can go up there, that know how to talk to the media without giving away too much info. So Juice, Fred Warner, those, maybe Kittle. So when I turned on the pressers and I see Shanahan get done, Brock Purdy comes to the podium, I'm like, wow, this is interesting. Is he going to be the only quarterback that speaks? Because this will be really weird, right? And then all of a sudden, Trey Lance, what was it? All of a sudden Sam Darnold comes to the podium. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, so if these 49ers don't have Trey Lance come to this podium right now,
we riot.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden Trey Lance comes. I'm like, okay, well played, 49ers. Well played. What were your guys' thoughts just on that, when you saw that they had all three quarterbacks come to the podium and speak yesterday.
It's funny. Go ahead, Lawrence. Let you go first, being the guest.
I appreciate you, sir. Thank you. So first, well, just when I opened it up and I saw Kyle, I like to had a heart attack because I didn't realize that we were having press conferences, and then it just let me know that it's back. Because if he's speaking to the media, then which he hates to do, then football is really back. So I was like, oh crap, okay, cool. So then, boom, first comes up Brock Purdy. I'm like, okay. Can't even throw the towels as far as from what I've heard right now, but that's cool. We got Brock first, and then we get the red rifle comes up next. I'm like, all right, cool. They must be safe. I guess Trey's gonna be last. Like, I just assumed immediately that's what was happening. It had to have been, and then that's what it turned out to be. So I actually like the fact that we got to hear from all three of them first and foremost. I didn't really take anything into it except for Trey. It just in the back of my mind, it's a little twinge. It's like, okay, Trey ended it.
Mhm.
What does that mean? Does it mean anything? And today on Twitter, I saw someone actually ask the question, what does it mean that Kyle started and then it went with Brock, Sam, Yule, and then Trey? Is that like the pecking order? Or what? So for me, what I thought was, okay, Kyle started it off to let everybody know that we're back to football, and then we went in reverse order for the quarterbacks. That's how I took it, or maybe that's just what my heart wants to think. But that's kind of what I got out of it. Trey is the alleged number one right now. You expect him to beat Sam out, and we don't think that Brock is going to get rushed at all. So starting week one, it more than likely should be Trey, and that's the way that it kind of played out. Bring Brock out there. Everybody wants to see him, so let that happen. Let them get that out of their system, and then we can go with the people who actually can get on the field right now.
Yeah. Real quick before you go, team. What's up, Dion? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Beto. Oh, I forgot. Beto. He likes to be called Beto. Make sure you
Beto?
pronounce it that way.
Beto.
No, he said that's how the white people say it. Beto.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say I never heard it that way. So
yeah, that's why I'm like, where do you get Beto out of Beto? Like, where does that even come from? Like, you just start adding in extra letters to make it like more difficult. Like, I don't understand how that works. I hope you guys are doing well. Go ahead, T.
Yeah, no, that's funny. I've only been living in Vegas for going on 8 years now, but I'm originally from Fresno, California, which is a diverse city, but we have a lot of Mexicans there. And, I never heard it. I never heard it called Beto. I've always heard like Alberto, I even know how to do the rolling of the R's, my tongue thing, because I've been around so many Mexicans.
I can't do it either.
Oh, really? So yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah, Lawrence, to piggyback off you, it's funny, man, and I'm surprised they didn't have what's his name come up there, Brandon Allen, because he was 7 for 7. So maybe just because they ran out of time or whatever, or they're just like, huh? What's that?
No, I'm
7 for 7.
I'm just saying, and Kyle yesterday, real quick, not to cut you off.
Yeah.
He goes,
go ahead.
I've loved Brandon Allen since forever. I was like, motherfucker, stop lying.
He always talks up the weirdest.
You don't even know this fucking guy. Whatever. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Kyle. He seems like he's a little bit different nowadays. Like, he's even trying to talk up Trey a little bit and stuff like that. But it's all good. And then they came to his defense with the whole Ian Rappaport deal and all this stuff. But I don't know. It's funny. From what I've heard, is that Trey, after practice was over, he continued to work out a little bit more. Like, he was out there still throwing the ball around and stuff like that. So that's why I think he went last personally, because he, it took him a little bit longer to get ready and stuff like that, which if that's the case, I love to see it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I just hate that, I know we're going to get more into, I just hate the fact that, this dude's been grinding so much. And instead of 49er fans coming together and saying, man, at least, whether you're a believer in him or not, you have to appreciate the work ethic.
Yeah.
You have to appreciate the work ethic, regardless of how, like I wasn't a big fan of Jimmy after 2 seasons of seeing him play quarterback, but I still, like, if he was out there putting in work, doing stuff, holding, extra practices, I would still give him his respect. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's for another topic, I'm sure, later in the show. But just looking at all this stuff, and I don't take nothing of it. It just, people want to take of it as you see. I think the people who are making it a story, the people, whoever narrative they want it to fit.
Yep.
So, Brock Purdy was first. See, that's QB1, and Trey's now third, and this and that. And then you got the people who support, who prefer Trey. They're coming out with you save the best for last, and so so it's crazy to me, bro. It's just that's what they're saying. Oh, they saved the best for last. I'm just like, that's what they. Yeah, I've seen that a couple
of times.
Darnold,
it's first the worst, second the best. That rule.
Yeah.
So that's why he went second.
And then it's
third, the goose is third.
Yeah.
Really?
And then it's the Sam Darnold, and then it's the Sam Darnold. See, he's already ahead of Trey, which doesn't make sense when you know that Trey took the first team reps.
Yeah.
So he took first team reps, but then just because Sam Darnold's ahead of him in the press conference, he's above him. You guys, some people are clowns out there, and I don't like to name call and stuff like that, but some of these people out here are just ridiculous. Like, I just got to call it like I see it. But yeah, I'm glad that Kyle let all three quarterbacks, because can you imagine if Brock Purdy only spoke and nobody else said anything?
That's what I was thinking.
Like nobody else went up there,
or
it's just like, so yeah, I'm just, I'm glad. And then it was comical because, we've all talked about the Sam Darnold turnovers, and then he fumbled, during 11-on-11 drills, the first snap. Oh, see, he's back to doing what he does. And I'm just like, he still ain't got no chemistry with that center. So, I'm just going to sit there and wait it out and see what happens. Everybody, it's no secret how I'm a Trey supporter, and I prefer him in this offense, but whoever wins it, I'm happy. Like, I'm not going to sit there and cry over spilled milk or any of this stuff. So yeah, it's comedy at this point, man. I sit there and laugh. I don't know if you guys saw my post. I think you liked it, Mariah, because it's one of those things where people are, if you prefer a quarterback, then, why you hating on the other? It's okay to prefer a certain player. But so I sat there, and this it wasn't sarcasm. Well, the first part of it wasn't sarcasm. The second part was. So I said, I'm rooting for Jair Brown to take over as a free safety spot and be the starter in week 1, even though he doesn't have any NFL snaps. So I said, because I prefer him to start, I guess I must now be a hater to Sean Gibson because I don't want Sean Gibson to start. And that's how it is with these quarterbacks. You prefer one, you must hate the other, which is foolishness. So yeah, that's what I got to say about all this.
Yeah.
Amen.
Real quick, want to say what's up to the Swerve Show. Says what's up to I'm
Swerve
chilling in the
building.
cut.
What's happening?
We got Butterfly in the house. Hey, Butterfly. We have Ty. Our guy Ty says, I'm here. What's up, faithful? Appreciate you coming through. 187 on your ass.
On the undercover
Christy
cop.
Marie, what's up, sis? Let's see. We got anybody else that I missed? I don't remember. I think I said what's a big city already.
Your inner Snoop Dogg almost came out there, huh?
Got Robin Pratt. What's up? Good to see you. Got Daniel.
Yeah.
What up, Daniel? Hope everybody's doing great today. Okay, so I want to kind of get into, now that we talked about that, I just wanted to get your guys' feelings on, because I have seen so many different takes like that. So I wanted to see where you guys' heads were at when, all three quarterbacks came out. But I kind of want to get into each one's pressers and talk a little bit about what they had to say. And I wanted to start with Trey Lance. He had a lot to say. But something I specifically want to start with and talk about is how he kind of, talked about his mentals and, that situation. I have the clip here, so I'm going to play it and then we'll kind of talk about it a little bit.
Thankfully, I'm really close with my family. Me and my little brother, my parents. I meet with people to help me, set my mindset for the day pretty regularly. So for me, it's just being able to find ways to live in the moment, I think is one big thing that I focused on this year, as well as just realizing how blessed I am to be in this position. I'm going to say it every single day, I play in the NFL. Hopefully, obviously, the plan is for me to get on the field this year and really get this thing started. But gratitude is what I kind of bring everything back to, just kind of bringing everything back into perspective. Psychologist? Something like that. Yeah. A little bit of both. Yeah. It wasn't provided by the team, but someone that I knew, someone knew through the team. Yeah. But it wasn't like you need to go meet with someone, you're sad, anything like that. No, I feel like I'm pretty positive. But yeah, it's helped me out a lot, and just super thankful to be here. Appreciate you guys.
I wanted to start there because a lot of times, and me and Tia, we talk about this a lot, that a lot of times people forget about the human side of things when projecting all this hate and all this, negativity, negative vibes, negative everything towards these players. And especially somebody that's so young, like, okay, there's one thing if he had been in the league for 7 years, has been a piece of shit, beats his wife, like got suspended for all this shit, and you have some negative stuff to say about the kid, right? But from all accounts, the only thing the kid has done wrong is got injured, which is nothing beyond his control, right? From all accounts, he puts his head down, he goes to work, he works in the off season. Everything that kid does is to better his craft. Before he even got drafted, we heard the stories about how he would just randomly call up, different quarterbacks, coaches, people that had watched his game, or, and ask them, what did you see? What can I do to get better? What, tell me what I need to do, because he wants to be great at what he does. So for him to get up there, and yeah, I think it's great, up until, still to this day, but it's gotten a little better the last, handful of years. But a man can never get up to that podium and say that he was feeling any kind of depression, any kind of anxiety, that he was seeing a counselor, any of that. Because he would have got looked at, oh, what a pussy, oh, what a bitch, oh, you're a girl, like you can't deal with your feelings, yada, all this other shit, So I want to first applaud him for being able to get up to that podium and saying that he's seeing a counselor, saying that, that he meets with somebody almost daily to get his thoughts right in the mornings, to set his thoughts for the day, and applaud his family for, and TL talks about this a lot, that his mom and dad for raising the young man that they have raised, because it truly shows, how much dedication they put into, and care and love and everything that they put into raising him. So you can think whatever the thoughts on the football field of him being a bust and him being this and that and whatever after only a handful of games is fucking ridiculous, we know. But whatever, think what you want to think. At the end of the day, I feel that he's going to prove you all wrong. But, to place like hate and to like put all this, call this kid every freaking name that you can call him, to be hating on him simply because of the color of his skin, like it's just fucking ridiculous, And I'm so happy that he was able to, get whatever help, because he has seemed so positive, right? Like every time, he gets up in the front of the pressers, every time we hear him talk, or we see videos of him, he's always smiling, he's always upbeat. It's not like he looks depressed, not like he's hiding in the corner. He's not, like he's always smiling, he's always happy. But obviously he knew, right, that from some point to some point that there was not something right with himself, right? So whether that's, okay, another injury, now I'm watching this kid come, the last pick of the draft, come in and take my job, like that has to fucking get to you at some point, right? And then I have the entire world, talking about how I'm a bust, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. Having and Alex Smith talked about this, being drafted so high, and everything that came with, right? Now think to have 3 first-round picks spent on you and all that comes with, and all that pressure that puts on a kid, and he's so freaking young. Like he's only a year or so older than my daughter, and I just think like there's no way that I could picture her going through all the shit that he has to go through, And not because she's a girl or because, I would think that even if she was boy, just because how young they are, to have the weight of the world, just placed on their shoulders, and to have the weight of the franchise, so much shit on them, and all he wants to do is go and play football with his guys, right? Like, go and do what he loves, go and do what he's practiced and trained his entire life to do. And unfortunately, with injuries, he hasn't been able to do that, so I just kind of wanted to get you guys' thoughts, a little bit on that. Yeah, just how you guys are feeling about that.
Everything you said, I honestly just 100% agree with. You really just said everything perfectly. Most of you fucking 23-year-olds out there on Twitter can't handle your fucking Target job. You know what I'm saying? So, but this kid has the weight of an entire city, franchise, and really a country that seems to fucking hate him. And I don't have any idea why, because he seems like such a good kid. And for me, like, okay, he's 23 years old though, so I'm a guy. I'm a black man, as well as that. I'm raising two black men, so I even stopped short of saying, like, when you get to be like 23 years old, you're a kid. No, because I don't want my two sons to think, okay, I'm a kid, I can still fuck around like kids do and things like that when they turn 23, right? But this is a different situation. He's not a regular person. People in the NFL are not regular people. In the NFL, he is a kid. He is 23 years old, but like a week and a half right now.
About to say a fresh 23 at that.
Bruh, fresh 23. Okay, a fresh Jordan barely. And you would think that he was Ray Rice and shit to the league.
Seriously.
Yeah.
You would think that he was Ray Rice, but instead you see this kid consistently come to the podium and then not be a kid, be a man, and come up to that podium yesterday and say, hey, I go to therapy. And people, everyone, please. I haven't been able to do it yet, but at some point, hopefully before I die, I go. Yeah. I don't believe there's anything wrong with therapy. I personally don't. And just, in the black community too, it's really prevalent as far as getting a negative connotation or a negative stigma on us going to therapy.
And that's male or female.
Yes,
right?
Male or female. Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. For black folks, I don't need therapy. Fuck that.
Yep.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And he's like you said, Mariah, he's barely older than your daughters. I have a 17 and a 19-year-old son, and in 3 years from now, I do not expect either one of them to be able to mentally and emotionally take the burden that Trey Lance has. And I feel like I've been a pretty decent dad. They have a full family up, but they'll be 22, 23 years old, and he's been getting called the devil really for the last 2 years, and he hasn't cracked. He's still just coming up every week, every day, and saying, I go to work and I just want my shot. I go to work and I just want my shot. Yeah. And I think that this year he's going to put his foot in some folks' ass, and I'm praying for it.
Yeah, I'm going to put up what Dion said. You're absolutely right, Dion. And to piggyback off of Lawrence, you're absolutely right. Me being a black man as well, me growing up, and my dad, I told you guys before on this podcast, he's from Hunters Point, San Francisco, which is straight hood. You know what I'm saying? And yes, me and my brother growing up weren't even allowed to cry. I don't care if you scraped your knee. I don't care what the situation was. Like, we were 6, 7 years old. If you fall off your bike and you hurt yourself, you scuff your knee, your elbow, quit crying. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, quit crying. Like seriously. My dad was a believer of you don't express your feelings. You're a man. You need to handle it internally and man up and do this. So times have changed. Yep. It's not like that anymore. My dad used to tell my brother, the only time you're able to cry is at a funeral. I'm like, wow. See what I'm saying? So we used to hold back the tears because we didn't want my dad thinking me and my brother were soft. You know what I'm saying? So, but times have changed. And I hate the narrative of just because you're a millionaire, that should take away the vulnerable side of your human aspect. Like,
he makes millions of dollars. So
he's millions of dollars. He needs to suck it up. No, he's still a human. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, Lawrence and Mariah, this dude, he gets drafted. The locker room first didn't really want him to start because they were talking about this run it back tour, which to me is comical. Run it back, what? You lost the Super Bowl. Here's the thing.
We have been running it back since.
Yeah, you lost the Super Bowl. Then the year after, you didn't even make the playoffs. So what you running it back to? So the fact that they were have this run it back tour, he didn't get to start his first year, like Dion said, when we needed a shot in the arm because we couldn't get nothing offensively cracking against Green Bay. They brought Trey Lance in and we scored a touchdown immediately. Excuse me. Excuse me. Second year, he gets in. He was getting ready to start. He gets hurt his second game. And then all of a sudden, now it's like, man, like, I finally got my chance to prove myself to be the starter of this team who drafted me, who took a chance on me. And now I can't, now I'm hurt and I can't do anything. And then Brock Purdy and Jimmy come in, and Jimmy comes in, does well. Brock Purdy comes in, he tears it up. And all of a sudden now he's being doubted and all this other stuff. And then I've heard stuff on Twitter. Oh, he's seeing a counselor. He's a beta male. He can't handle it. And this is that. I'm like, that's ridiculous. There's nothing
Slap
wrong
the
with
shit
the
out that
man.
person. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, and that's just true too. And I don't care if this pisses people off. Like, I love everybody. Mariah has met me. A couple people on here have met me. I'm a mellow dude. I'm chill.
Yep,
But there's some
me
people
too.
on social media. There's some people on social media that I would love to meet in person. Is not to shake their hand, and it's not to say, hey, let's go to dinner. You know what I'm saying? If you get my drift. So it's just it's disheartening as a man, who's like, all of us on here have kids. You see a young man who's doing well, like the way, and I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but the way that Trey Lance carries himself, that's all that I would ever want to ask from my own kids.
Yes.
Go out there, be a stand-up citizen. This man is hurt. Going to Kyle, asking him, what can I do to help this team? He's not sitting there pouting. He's not doing other stuff. So I'm sure all this stuff over his first 2 years of his NFL career has not gone his way. That's going to get to you regardless. That will be any of us. If we quit, let's just say we got hired at this job, and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna hire you as a manager." You go in there and you're struggling, this and that. It's going to get to you. You're gonna be like, "Man, this job just somehow is not going my way." But so maybe you need to go to counseling. Hey, what can I do to get to do better? This and that. But some people, it's just, they have these ridiculous expectations from him, and it pisses me off that there's a narrative of, I don't care what Brock Purdy does, he's not able, he played good enough where he can't lose his job no matter how he plays, but Trey Lance can't earn his starting job back. Like, that to me is crazy. So yeah, I don't mind Trey going to counseling at all. It's, for everybody who's sitting there talking about he's a beta male, he's soft. I don't care if he's making $9-10 million a year. He's still a 23-year-old young man whose career has not started off how he wants. I'm like Mariah said, I'm glad he has two excellent parents that have his back, are in his corner and not telling him to suck it up and all this other stuff. I wonder if his dad played in the NFL for a year. So, and then played in the CFL. So I'm sure his dad's like, look, son, the NFL was not fair. You're just going to have to work your butt off. And hopefully going into year 3, you go out there and you show them what you can do, because the easiest way to shut people up is go out there and perform. And if he goes out there, stays healthy and performs, and he does what he needs to do, like Mariah said, I don't see him getting his job. I don't see Brock Purdy getting his job back. And that's not a hate on Brock Purdy. Not a hate, because here's my thing. People can say what they want. I know all this stuff was coming up with the dink and dunk stuff, whatever the case may be. I don't feel like Brock Purdy's a dink and dunk quarterback. He takes what's open. However, Trey Lance still has the element. Like, to me, I feel like Trey Lance can learn to dink and dunk, but Brock Purdy cannot learn to throw it deep down the field. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that Trey Lance brings differently, that if he can master the simple stuff, the down the field throws are already there. He has that arm to maintain and take Kyle's offense to another level, like Matt Ryan did. So yeah, I love that press conference, and yeah, kudos to Trey Lance for everything he's done in this offseason and holding himself accountable, even giving props to Brock Purdy, saying that he balled out, he's a leader of the locker room, and to sit there and not pouting about it and said he wants to go out there and compete. If you hate this man for saying these positive things, go screw yourself.
Preach.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, sir.
Let me see what's up to a couple people real quick. We got Throwback in the house. Fernando, what's up? We have Sean in the house. Hey, Sean. I hope our little boy is doing well. He just got out, his little son just got out of surgery yesterday morning. So hope he is on the mend and feeling better. Let me see. I had seen somebody else sneak in here. Damian Lee, my brother from another, because we share the same last name, Let me see.
And my middle name.
Yep.
Yes.
I think, was that everybody? Let me scroll down here. Oh, I knew I had missed somebody. Alberto, my guy Alberto. How you doing?
Dink and Dunk content creator. That's funny.
See that?
Who said that?
There's a guy, somebody in the comment section.
Their name is Dink and Dunk
Their
content
name is
creator.
Oh,
yeah, that's their name. Yeah.
That's probably Steve-O then.
It probably is Steve-O. Fucking Steve-O.
Shot J, good to see you, my friend. I missed you. Where you been? Let me see. John V in the house. What's good? Oh, here it is. Say my name 3 times and I shall appear.
So you Candyman or what? What's that? What's the other one
Seriously.
called? Bloody Mary. Who are you?
Bloody
man?
Mary. Bro is quick with the
Hey,
draw
Christy.
too.
Let me make it see. I know that's his ass look.
Bro.
All right. If I missed anybody, I apologize. There was a lot of comments, so yeah, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. A couple other things that Trey had went over were the trade rumors. They had asked him, I'm sure that you heard teams wanting to trade for you, yada yada. How did you feel about that, or some shit, And he says, no doubt for me, this is absolutely where I want to be. He touched on, I love the coaching staff here, the yada, everything down the list, So I'm glad, at least I'm surprised that they actually even asked him about that, because I mean, was there anything? Nothing came from the team really, so for them to just ask him a question on some Twitter rumors or whatever the hell was kind of weird, but okay. He touched on the quarterback room a little bit, because they're all around, close to the same age. Whereas, last year there were some older guys in there and whatnot. So he said the age, what it really doesn't matter, but that they're having a lot of fun in that room. He kind of talked about, and I think Brock had touched, I think everybody had touched on that, is that all 3 of them, that Kyle Allen, how he had worked with, what's his nuts last year? What's the
Nate Sudfeld?
Allen on the damn? Oh my god! What is it?
He came from the Bengals, right?
Yeah, the Bengals quarterback.
Oh,
Burrow.
Joe Burrow?
Joe
Yeah. I'm like drawing a fucking blank. That, how he's sharing with them his experiences of like stuff that Joe Burrow does, and so any little thing that you can feed to these young guys, Brock too, and even Sam is a young guy himself, just because he's played a lot of football. We obviously know there's a lot that he needs to learn still,
Yeah.
So yeah, he talked about that. And then you touched on this a little bit, T, but about about Trey Lance, wanting to do whatever he can to help. And of course, Larry Krueger, asked a Brock Purdy question. So yeah, he had asked what Trey Lance did, or how he helped Brock Purdy through the season, and what kind of things that he did, yada yada. So Trey talked about just any questions that he had, anything that he could do for the scheme, the playbook, but pretty much that he just wanted to be a friend to him. And I thought that was, the best answer. All the other football yada yada bullshit answers, that you could give, but for him to just say, to close it off, like, I just really wanted to be his friend. I just wanted to be there for him, if he needed me. And it goes back to just showing, like, what an awesome young kid this is. Like, and I saw Christy say this in the chat, like, how anybody could possibly hate this kid. Like, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to hate somebody like that.
Yeah. They asked him, about the leader in the clubhouse, about, you heard obviously that Brock's the leader in the clubhouse. So has that changed, how the way you go about things and yada yada? He says no, he's still, getting ready. But in there, he had said something that I thought was, good, was that he said he's been able to focus on a lot of things that'll help me versus getting healthy. So he talked about, the last 2 off seasons, he had to spend all his time rehabbing and working on, how to grip the football with his broken finger and, all this stuff. So he didn't get to actually work on his craft. He didn't get to work on his base and his arms and his this and that and everything that he needs to work on that goes into being a quarterback, because he had to spend all that time getting healthy, So I thought that was awesome to hear. And as we've seen, he's out working with Mahomes and his quarterback coach and out doing this and out working here, bettering his craft. And he's actually able to focus on the things that'll help him, Now, when we see it all on the field and it all come together, we'll get to see, that the things really do help him. But we know right now, at least he's putting in the work. And I think at this point, that's all that we can ask at the end of the day, right? Like he's putting in the work and he's trying to get better. And for so many years, and that's one of the things I couldn't stand about Jimmy. And yeah, you don't need to put all your business out on social media and this and that, but I can count on my hand how many times we heard that he got the wide receivers together to work with, or he was out at this with this throwing coach, or he was out doing that, And it's like the day of social media. Yeah, you might not be posting it yourself, but somebody's posting it, right? It's out there somewhere,
James.
So if he was out there working, why, like at least get your wide receivers together, go throw, go do this, go, build the chemistry. And so at least since Trey, even if he's working on rehab and getting his body healthy, whatever, since the day he's been here, we've known he's out working. It's well documented. He's out working. He talked about the arm fatigue. Asked him about the arm fatigue. We've heard now that he's working with the Mahomes' coach, trainer, whatever, that one of the things is that him fixing the grip and the throwing motion, everything from that finger, and how that was directly tied to his arm getting tired because he's having to throw different than what he's been throwing his entire life, right? And when you're used to moving your arm this way, and if you're all of a sudden having to tweak it this way, your arm's gonna fucking hurt because it's not used to doing that, right? And it's not supposed to do that. So it's your body telling you something's not right. You're doing something wrong. But he was having to overcompensate in different areas because he couldn't grip the football. So he said the arm fatigue hopefully will finally be able to kill that this year. So I thought that was funny. At least he's able to joke about the questions up there when people ask, when he gets thrown these stupid ass questions, he laughs at it and whatever. So it's good. And to close up the thing that I wrote last, and this kind of goes into, him talking to somebody and getting his mentals right. He says, I finally feel like I'm having fun playing football again.
Unbelievable.
A kid's game that these guys play for a living, make millions of dollars, we know. But, we hear so much from George Kittle, how he, people talk about, oh, he's always laughing and doing this with the cameras and this and that. And we know he's such a jokester. He's like a wrestler, and he always comes back to, we play a kid's game and we're supposed to be having fun out there. So if you're showing up to work, and I know this, it might be a different work, but when you're showing up somewhere to do something that you have loved, something that you have spent, so many years doing and perfecting your craft, and you start showing up and you're not having fun doing it anymore, something's not right? Whatever the reason is. And so you have to keep showing up and keep going somewhere that you're not having fun, you're not maybe feeling wanted, you're not, whatever the reason may be, it sucks.
And Mariah, what's crazy about it too? It's not like he's a 10-year vet that's been working, going to training camps and brutal, all that stuff. He's going into his 3rd season. He's 23, making $10 million a year, and he's still talking about I'm starting to have fun again, going into his 3rd year. Like, that's crazy.
Yep. Yep.
because
So
his football life has sucked
yeah,
thus far. Just for lack of a better word, I mean, that's just I feel bad for the man, I shouldn't, but I feel bad for the man because I guess first of all I care about the 49ers, but I feel bad for that young man. I really do. Like you said, I'm sorry. He came up there yesterday. He just got completely disrespected the entire interview. His first interview of the season, Faithful, and everybody literally as politely as they could crapped all over him when he was at that podium, and he had to laugh those things off so he doesn't blow his brains out. I think. I just the first thing, Matt Mayoko immediately, Mr. 49er. Yeah, so Brock's #1 in the clubhouse. That is stuck on his tongue for the rest of his life.
yep.
Brock's #1 in the clubhouse the second he walks in there. How do you feel about that? Like, give me a break. My
I wish.
apologies.
And no, you're good, man. And and I don't have
Man.
any problem with the media asking tough questions and stuff sometimes, and people,
Yeah,
would probably get mad. People probably get mad if if he came with the Marshawn Lynch approach and just be like, and not saying like not talking to the media type thing, but just I would answer every time somebody asks me something about the off season, be like, I'm continuing to work and get better. The next question, like I would just give them the same repeated answer, so I don't put my foot in my mouth, so people don't just be like, look, like you're gonna see a new me. I'm continuing to work, plain and simple. Next, like I'm gonna answer the questions every single way because, like you said, they're coming with him. And the first thing, like to me, I feel like you should be like, hey, how's the off season been after hurting your ankle? How's the recovery? Not say you can
none of
come with
that.
that. None of that.
Oh my
It's just,
God.
you like with Brock having the support of the locker room, with Brock being QB1, like it's like, man, it's like I don't know. I just and I get it. They're the media and they're gonna do what they do, but at the same time, it's crazy to me how like, why does it always have to be about the competition? Why can't it be like, well, what are you doing this off season to to get back into shape? What are you doing to to look to be the starter this year? None of that. It's always about, well, Brock's ahead of you, so how do you feel? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's crazy. I don't know, man. It's just like you said. I don't feel bad for him for the questions, I guess you can say. I feel bad for him because of the way his career has started.
Yeah,
Like not him
exactly.
not starting, year one, him getting his shot to start year two, then gets hurt, first quarter of the second game. And then it's like two, and it's like it's crazy to me because I truly believe that Brock Purdy is not going to be ready in week one. Okay. I truly
Mhm.
believe he's not. He's not going to be in football shape. Two, I think he can beat out Sam Darnold. And the thing about it is, like, I'm hearing so many people like, oh, Trey has to start week one and give us 34 points a game like Brock Purdy did. Otherwise, he has to be benched and this, and that. And I'm just like, okay, 5 out of the 6 years, his offense has started slow and 3 years consecutive. So for you to
Mhm.
go in there and think like, oh, he needs to go in there, and get 34 points a game going on off the back in week one, that's not even, and we talk about the fair thing, but it's like that's not realistic in my opinion, because of how this offense has started every year. So the like I've heard people sit there and say, even if he starts off 4-0, if the offense is only averaging 24 a game, he needs to be pulled.
Yeah.
I've heard that. Like, even if he's undefeated, often
Yep.
he should be pulled if we're only scoring 24 because Brock gave us 34. Like, that's crazy to me. You can't expect that going on here, especially in Kyle's offense where we start off slow every single
Yeah.
year. Crazy.
Well, maybe they'll
It
trade
is.
him because that's what they made sure to ask. It's just like a slap in the face. Do you even want to be here? Shouldn't you want to be traded? Like, what the fuck is this guy saying to him
Yeah.
yesterday? Don't you think it's just the best thing? Maybe like motherfucker. What?
Yeah. And what's he
Yeah.
supposed to say? He's under contract with the 49ers.
Yeah, and then
So
what he's gonna
even
say?
if he
What kind of
did,
question is that? Even if he
even if he
did,
didn't
would he
want to
say
be there,
yes?
yeah, he's supposed to say, yeah, can you trade me to the Seahawks, please?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my god.
yeah, I don't want to fucking be here.
I'm just so angry about his whole situation.
Yeah. It sucks, man. Yeah.
Let me say what's up to a couple people. We got Eric in the house. Speaking of Seahawks, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. We had somebody. Let me find it. SG Sports Talk. What's up, Chardal? Hope you're doing well. Got Dina in the house. What up? What up? And yeah, don't enter your numbers yet, Alberto, because then they'll get lost. But yeah, we're gonna be closing with a CMC giveaway. Let me show y'all while you guys are here.
Well, speaking of that, let me hold on a second.
CMC in his 49ers uniform. So yeah, we're gonna end with this giveaway. So make sure you guys stay around so you can get your numbers in.
And it works. She sent me the vicious shit. Actually, she sent me a triple play. I just want one Debo card, but I was like, bam, when I opened it up. So yes, please put your numbers in the comments, folks.
Thanks, Big City Man. Once we get towards the end of the show on this, well, we'll be able to do it today since you're in that chat, but usually on our channel, we do giveaways, and what we do is random number giveaways. So we have everybody, once we call for them, we'll enter a number in the chat, and we'll give everybody a few minutes to do it, and then we'll use a random number generator, and whoever's the closest wins. Simple as that. So yeah, you can get entered once we get in there.
Be jealous, Big City. Be jealous.
What's up, David? Good to see you, my friends. Hope you're well. So let's go through these other two pressers real quick about the other quarterbacks. We'll go. Let's go to Brock next. Because Sam's, and I talked about this on my show yesterday with the guys, is that I don't know what it is. It's like, oh my God, I had to watch Sam's press conference so many times, and it's just like, I'm just like
falling asleep.
Oh shit!
He looked like the dude at the bar. Big City said that to me yesterday because I was going off about them in my show last night to be on spot all the press conferences. And I believe Big City said he looks like looks like the guy at the bar. I was like, yeah, that works. I'll take that. He's like a tree cutter or some shit. But I don't want to hate on Samuel. So
no. Don't enter your numbers yet, because your numbers are going to get lost in there and they're not going to count. So once we call for your numbers at the end, then you'll enter them. Not yet. But yeah, I don't know. Like, it just felt like, and I don't know if it's because Sam went in the middle of those two and they're both up there like so full. And this is Brock and Trey, of course, up there with so much energy and just positive, and just like they own that room, right? Like they're the quarterback. Like, ask me whatever question you want. I don't give a shit, right? And then Sam gets up there and he just kind of like wanted to hide behind the podium. I felt like, and it's just like I felt like almost bad, because I feel that way when I get up to the fucking podium, like how I'm seeing him feel, like you just want to hide behind the damn podium, and I'm just like, man, like you guys put him in the middle, that ain't even right. So I guess the biggest thing for Brock was him saying that next week he'll be able to throw a football, and from the last that we heard, he was throwing a towel, and from all accounts, he's supposed to go steps, right? Like a towel to a tennis ball to a whatever ball to a whatever, gradually, but he's already says next week he's going to be throwing a football. So I don't know. Now we've seen what was that? Mullins, when he had the surgery, right? And those videos came out, and if you can remember, he was throwing the football and hardly any distance, right? Like probably like 2 feet into like this trampoline type thing. He's throwing the ball and hitting the trampoline, and it's bouncing back to him like a square trampoline. And so, I mean, throwing a football, fans are thinking, oh, he's going to be out there in freaking OTAs throwing a football. That's not going to be what's fucking happening. So let's just slow the fuck down, all right? He's going to be throwing a football like, okay, maybe you have to start like a foot, like just getting some motion back into the arm. He's not going to be chucking footballs out there with Sam and Trey like next week, okay? Like, let the guy heal. Like, oh my gosh. Like, he said that, and I swear within 2 minutes, Twitter was like, all this.
Exactly. He's Wolverine. Like, wow. Basically, he's Wolverine.
Yeah.
So he said, but like they asked him, so are you going to be ready by week 1 of the season? Which is crazy to be asking the kid that, like he fucking knows, right? And he says that he's not going to say he's going to be ready by a certain date, which is common sense, right? And pretty much, like anybody, he's going one day at a time. So whatever his doctors, his physical therapist, whatever tells him he can do that day, that's what he does. Whatever they tell him he can do the next day, that's what he's going to do, right? They're not telling him, well, in whatever the first game is, this date you'll be ready to get out there and play football, so he says that after OTAs are done, that he's going to be staying with the 49ers throughout OTAs, and then he'll be going back to Jacksonville to work with his quarterback coaches. So as he's able to start throwing, a football, like actually, that he'll start working with them again, in that process. And then, a thing I want to talk about too is that all 3 quarterbacks had spoke about Greasy. And we talked about last year, how Greasy's effect, and some people say, oh, well, he didn't do anything. Brock was already ready to go when he came into the team, and look at Jimmy and yada, yada. And look what Trey Lance wasn't ready week 1 and all this shit. And it's like, from my opinion, like Greasy made a hell of a difference. He got Brock ready to play. The last pick of the freaking draft, we can say, oh, he had all this experience, he had this, he had that. He didn't have no fucking NFL experience. So let's just fucking stop. Right. But yet, he was ready. He was ready to go. And yes, a lot of that is on Brock, but a lot's that you have to give his coaches some freaking credit too. And then we saw Jimmy probably look the best that we have ever seen him look in a 49ers uniform since pre-freaking injury, right?
Yep, exactly.
So what was that to? Greasy gets no credit to that. Like,
it was Grease.
We saw him working with this bum-ass quarterback coach for the last freaking 5 years, and Jimmy never got better. Never. Not one single year. He's supposed to be getting better each and every year, and that never happens until Greasy came along.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? It's like, when it comes, everybody is so weird and so biased when it comes to the quarterback position. Like, we give Chris Kasarik so much credit. Oh, he turned Arden Key and got him a new contract. He got Kerry Hyder Jr. a new deal. But when it comes to Greasy, he gets no credit. Like, come on, people. Like, let's be realistic here. We give D'Amico Ryans and Johnny Holland the credit for developing these linebackers. Why does Brian Greasy not get any credit when half of you complained when he was hired in the first place? Oh, he was sitting in the booth. He don't have any experience coaching, but the man played NFL football for a decade and made a Pro Bowl.
Right.
So how you going to sit there and say that this man don't have experience? Like, he can see what a quarterback does on the field. So to not give this man any credit to me is crazy. Like, all of a sudden, oh no, it's all Brock Purdy. He had 4 years experience. Yeah, like you said, in the Big Ten, not in the NFL. So to sit there and not give Brian Greasy his flowers and say that he didn't partake in any of the development of these quarterbacks is asinine. Like, you guys really are crazy. Like, I agree with Tanya. Like, I agree with Tanya. Like, this fan base is weird. Like, and to go back to about the Brock Purdy situation, you're absolutely right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, Brock Purdy's saying he'll be able to throw a football. So half of this fan base, or most of his fan base, are just like, oh, see, he'll be ready week 1.
Yeah.
Not anywhere did he say he'll be able to be making all the throws. Now, yeah, throwing a football, like you said, it could be a 5-yard slants for now until he gets stronger. Then it's going to go to 15 yards and 20, whatever the case may be. It's not going to be like, oh, you know what? He can throw starting June 1st. And okay, go ahead and throw a 40-yard bomb to Danny Gray. That's not happening. Yeah. Like, you guys need to get realistic and understand throwing a football, you got to take that with a grain of salt. Yeah, he can probably be able to hold it, be able to throw the football, yes, but we're talking about the distance and the strength he's going to need to get back into football shape and be able to throw the football like he did pre-injury. Now, I hope this UCL surgery makes his arm stronger, because I've heard that it can go both ways. It can be worse or it can be better. Hopefully we got a rookie of the year situation where the man has surgery and then his arm was much stronger. Have you guys ever seen that movie with the little boy that broke his arm and then he was throwing heat? Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, I'm cool with that.
For sure.
But until we see it, you don't know. So, and it's just, it's crazy because so many people are sitting here and get upset when we say, you know what, it's too big, it's too small of a sample size for Brock to anoint him as the franchise quarterback. And all I gotta say is people are scared of the buyer beware, like we did with Jimmy G. He came
Amen.
in when he came in, went 5-0, gave them this huge contract instead of putting him on a franchise tag to see if he can do it consecutively. He gets hurt and he wasn't the same since. And then 2 years after his contract, they're looking to get rid of him. So, like people are saying, oh, just go ahead and trade. Let him play out his contract. Even if he's not the guy you
Yeah.
guys see, at least have somebody who knows the offense who can be the backup. But if you don't make the mistake of saying, oh, Brock Purdy's our guy, you trade Trey, and Brock Purdy ain't the same after injury, and Trey goes out and
Exactly.
does his thing somewhere else.
To
Like, you
his
guys need
fucking
to,
arm.
yeah, like you guys need to be patient and understand what's going on. Like, it's so crazy. So 8 games, like I said, and everybody's like, oh, if it was Trey, you guys would be anointing him. No, we wouldn't. There's some fans on here that are straight across the board when it comes to understanding football. If Trey gave us 8 great games, I still wouldn't be like he's a franchise quarterback. I need to see it
No.
longer. Like I said, I mean, look how long it took. We say this all the time, right? Look how long it took a Trevor Lawrence he took over 20 games before he started to
Over
look
2
good.
seasons.
Yeah, so
2
come on,
seasons.
people. Like, I'm not gonna, us sitting up here, we're preaching to the choir. They're not gonna change their mind. There's some racism. There's some bias towards people who are pissed that he was drafted in the first place because they were such Jimmy G fans, and
Yep.
now
Yep.
like
Yep.
he's the man who took his job. So
Took
now I'm
his
pissed,
job.
and
That's it.
I don't want to see him succeed. So it's crazy with this fan base. Denise, hey, I see you pop in. I hope everything's good with your mother-in-law.
Yes,
Definitely
Denise. Hi.
prayers.
Also,
Can I
we
ask you a
had some
question?
other ladies, real quick.
No. Yeah, say hello to
Melissa
all
in
the
the
ladies,
house.
please. Yes. Melissa, hi.
Hey, Tanya. Hey, sis. How you doing? And yeah, go ahead.
Miss Tanya, hi. What if on Brock Purdy can throw next week, right? And everybody can get their mini chubbies, right? What if on the first 15-yard out that motherfucker tries to throw BA, just bam, his whole wing just snaps again?
Exactly.
I'm on the real. Like, okay, so yeah, he can throw a Nerf football. That's cool. But when he gets the league regulated football in his hands, in his grip, and he tries to throw a 15-yard out play and just immediate pain, that could happen. James was not the same at all, mentally or physically, I believe, after his injury. This injury is to Brock's throwing arm. But the sycophants, he's Wolverine. His regenerative powers are unmatched, and he'll be ready to go September 11th or 10th or whatever day game 1 is. Ready to go. Like even like July 1st. Really? He's gonna be ready to start with no training camp, no real throws in training camp. But week 1, we need to just roll him on out there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's been one of my biggest worries from day one is that the 49ers are going to rush him back, and with him being young himself and now in a competition, because now, yeah, you might be the leader in the clubhouse, but he knows that these two guys are there working when he's not, right? Because he's having to rehab. He can't be out there throwing to compete. So he knows these two guys are out there competing and have the possibility to take his job. So aren't you going to think he wants to do everything in his power to get back there as fast as possible? The 49ers want to do everything in their power to get him out there as fast as possible from all sounds of it, right?
Yeah.
Like freaking John Lynch would throw him out there right now if he could.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I'm so worried that, and this is regardless, I don't care if Trey's competing against him or freaking Joe Schmo, it doesn't matter. It's the fact that you guys, if he gets rushed back too fast and then gets hit or hurt again, then what? His whole fucking career is gone. Something seriously bad happens to him out there because he got rushed back when he wasn't ready.
Right. What's crazy too?
We don't
it's
want
like
that.
when you, yeah. And when we sit there and when us fans sit here and we say, I just want Brock Purdy to take a full opportunity to get healed 100%. You know what they say? You guys just want Trey to start so bad that you just want Brock Purdy to sit there.
Yeah.
Like, no, like, here's my thing. Like, and here's my thing. If Trey, let's just say, if Trey starts week 1 and he's balling, and then they try to put Brock Purdy out there because they feel like, well, he's still the number one quarterback, and he gets hurt because you're trying to rush him out there. I'll be more pissed at that you rushed him back and mess up this man's career, and because you were so worried about trying to put him out there so quickly. You know what I mean? Like that right there is just, it doesn't make any sense. Like, let the man heal, and if he's healed, let's just say he's fully healed. If you want to give it back to him July 15th or whatever the case may be, you say, oh, he's 100%. You want to give it to him? Fine. But if it comes back where you're, well, I'm just using that for an example.
No, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But if you want to sit there and just be like Mariah said, if it was up to John Lynch, he'd put him out there yesterday and be like, oh, let's go out there and put him out there and this and that. And you're like, no, like if you guys don't really care about any of your players, I don't care if it's a quarterback situation, any of your players, you let them heal correctly and not try to rush them back. 80 and 85% is not good enough, especially for a quarterback and his throwing arm. If it was his non-throwing arm, different. But this is his throwing arm. Why would you want to put him out there 85% just because the locker room says he's the guy? You know what I'm saying? And that's what bugs me. Like a true leader of men is going to take his locker room's concerns, but ultimately, when you're the manager and you're in charge, you're going to do what you feel is best for the team, not what your subordinates say. You know what I'm saying? So
he's talking to you, Master Splinter.
And you see what Throwback says right here? Exactly. And even Mostert says 49ers rush players back fast. And remember, we heard about Mostert having that, and about the team wanting players to come back or, instead go for surgery and, where he wouldn't be back in time to play. And it's like, no, he's like, I need to go have surgery so that my future playing career is okay. Like, I'm not worried about just right now, the next month, because if I get hurt worse, then the rest of my career is gone,
exactly.
And he got in that big old tiff with the 49ers about it and eventually ended up leaving, not signing back with us. And it's like, these players aren't just making the shit up. Like, we can love the 49ers and think they're the greatest at everything, but at the end of the day, that's just not the case. There's some things that it's okay. They have to get better at, and it's okay for us to freaking talk about it.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head, and people think like just because we're true fans of the team that we're wrong when we disagree. Like we have this same thing with people in your family. I love all my family members, but there's some I don't agree with, and I'm gonna stay on that hill and say, no, you're wrong. I don't believe in what you're saying. And there's nothing wrong with that. People think like you have to like bow down to the organization because that's who you root for. They're human and they make mistakes too. So when Mostert said that, people were mad at him. Oh, he was tripping. He don't like, what do you mean he's tripping? It was his body. He understands if he came back early or not. Why would you gonna say this man is lying? Why would he lie about that? And people were pissed off like the 49ers can't do no wrong. That's what pissed me off. I don't care who it is. People get like if you're like, I don't know, to me, that's arrogant thought process to think like, oh, that's my team. Everything they do is 100%. No, players have come out and said what they said, and it's still not good enough. Like you'll believe accredited media person what they say that's not even true. But then when a player comes out and said it, oh, he's full of it.
Yeah.
You guys are so ridiculous.
That's an excellent point. They don't want to, like you said at the beginning, Mariah, when we first started, is that I think that I lose sight of the fact because they piss me off because I'm extremely emotional because I'm in love with the 49ers. No pause and none of that bullshit. Right? I'm in love with the 49ers. And I'm extremely emotional. I'm a Pisces. So I'm extremely emotional about everything, and then especially them. So in the moment, I may hate you, George Kittle, for how you act sometimes. I may hate you, Kyle, or whatever, but I really don't, because you know what? You are a human too. I'm no better than you. You make mistakes just like I make mistakes, and they're not perfect at their job just because they play football. Just because I can't fucking do it doesn't mean that they can. Everything that they do all the time is 100% correct. And I know that our fans, we forget that the players and then the people who run the organizations are humans too. That they will do things that maybe most people wouldn't do, such as try to rush people back from injury. And to think that we don't do that, I think is bullish, and really it's just being ignorant to reality.
Yeah. And it's just, and like I said, I think a lot of it too is so toxic when it comes to the 49ers organization with the fan base, I would say, is when it comes to the quarterback position. Because for somehow, and not all fans, but a lot of fans, for instance, we bring up the Javon Kinlaw situation. Our organization gets a pass on that. Nobody talks about how they messed up with that, how Javon Kinlaw
Nope.
pre-draft had the knee injuries and the worrisome about him and his, him having the inflated, what they call that, where they get inflamed and stuff. Yeah, the inflamed knees. Oh well, I get the pick. It's because we lost to Forrest Buckner and blah. No, the pick was wrong. Period. You don't pick somebody top 11 with inflamed knees and has chronic knee issues at 320 pounds. I'm sorry. You don't pick somebody. You want to take a chance on somebody like that in the 4th round? I'm cool with that. Not top 12, but somehow we get a pass. John Lynch didn't get a pass on that. Why get the pick and blah, blah, blah. Who knows who. We didn't understand it was going to continue to be chronic. It missed me with that. But as soon as you draft Trey, they should have never drafted Trey.
Yeah.
We still had Jimmy on the roster and blah, like, you know what I'm saying? So they pick and choose where they feel like they want to back this organization or whether they want to ride for them. You know what I'm saying? It's okay, people, to sit there and say like they made a mistake. Because people who can agree to that usually take their own accountability in their own lives as well. In their own lives. Because if I make a mistake, I'm going to sit there and tell my staff, whoever the case may be, you know what? I messed up. I screwed up, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? But nobody, for people to sit there and give people a pass, they usually are the ones who don't like to take accountability in their own lives.
Preach.
None of us have the balls to draft a kicker round 3. I would have. Mariah would have too, because Mariah was talking about that for months before. Like especially after when Robbie Gould said he wasn't coming back. Mariah was, and I'm a diehard Wolverines fan. She has no dog in the fight, and she was like, "We need that kicker. We need him." And then now all of a sudden, that's another thing, Mariah. That's to make a long story short. You see the kicking number for Zane Gonzalez and Jake Moody, it was equal, and they both missed a 43-yarder or 48-yarder. See, it was equal. Why did we have to draft a kicker? I'm like, it was one OTA practice, and you guys are already saying that pick was. And one's a rookie. It's unbelievable. This fan base.
One's a rookie.
Sometimes this fan base is weird, just like Tanya said.
But he's even with a 5-year vet, basically in training camp or whatever. He's a fucking rookie. And real quick, I'm sorry, brother, you love Michigan, so let me say this then. I'm gonna OH. Okay.
Dismissed. No, I'm just playing.
Bro, I didn't know. No, bro. Always love that. I know. So look, I hate them motherfuckers. We drafted Ambry Thomas. Yeah. I know you do. You have to. I know you do.
You have. So it's a must.
It's a must, right? We hate each other. I hate Ambry Thomas. We shouldn't take him. But you know what? As soon as that motherfucker said he wasn't coming back, I was shouting to the rooftops. Please go get Jake Moody. Please go get Khakis kicker. Please. Yes, because he's the best kicker in college. And I would have taken him in a 2nd round with our draft. I wouldn't have gave a damn.
Yeah.
How many Super Bowls did the Patriots win because of their kicker?
With Adam Vinatieri. Yep.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. You're totally right. And two, just to say this, even though I hate Ohio State, I'm gonna name you 2 players who I loved, even in Ohio State. Hated them because they'd always beat us. Joey Galloway and Sean Springs.
He was good. Sean Springs was excellent. Excellent. Yes, I hated pretty much a lot of y'all, as you may know. Desmond Howard, Woodson,
Biaka Batuka.
Oh my God, Biaka Batuka. Oh Lord, Tim Biaka Batuka. Woo.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, let's close up with a few things I have on Sam, and then we'll talk about what the title of this show is. Who are the real leaders in the clubhouse? And then we'll do a giveaway and get the hell out of here. So, Sam, I just have a couple things. Like I said, we just heard from him when he signed with the team, so there wasn't too much info that he has from then till now that he could possibly answer questions any different. He talked about, obviously, I had brought this up, Greasy. He said he's been awesome since he signed. He's just been, pretty much teaching him everything, the expectations to a new team, the system, the playbook, even being a guy, being a man, the mindset. He says everything about it's been great. He says right now, his biggest thing that he's doing is just learning the system. He's trying to, be on it in regards to the shifts, the motions, the checks, getting all that down since, we know a lot of Kyle Shanahan's systems, based on timing. And, they asked him about, with Trey Lance, getting the first team reps and you getting the second team reps. Does that matter to you? Do you care? And he says, first team, second team, the only thing that matters to him is he's getting reps, because that's what OTAs, training camp is all about, right? Getting the reps and, building that with your teammates. So
I like that answer.
Yeah, that's all I really had on him. You guys have anything to say about, Sam's presser?
The red rifle, basically, is where he is right now. Like I said, welcome Samuel. I've stopped with the nicknames. I can guarantee you on his birth certificate it says Samuel. So after James, I just stopped with the nicknames no more. Fuck that. You got to earn me shortening your name. So Samuel, welcome to the team. He looked like a redwood tree and Bambi. Basically, he looked like Bambi to me. Standing up with that motherfucker. So welcome, my man. Like I said, the red. I'm trying to get what I want to call this motherfucker correct, but the red rifle or some shit is like that was what it's going to be for me. And I love that he said.
I think Andy Dalton might have something to say about that.
Yeah, I know, and that's why it's coming to me. That's why I'm trying to change it up, because I think that Andy Dalton's nickname. But
it is.
He's here. He's tall. He's red. He did look a little nervous. He looked, like you said, like he wanted to hide behind it, and I can get that. And I understand too, Miss Mariah. I know you said that that's how your personality is too, right? Or you understand, or you can, sympathize more so with it, or even empathize, whichever one you were using in this situation. And I can too, but that's also not my personality, right? So, and he's a guy. So I was just like, bro, just snap out of it a little bit, bro. Just wake up, my man, is what I was hoping for a little bit. But we didn't really need that. He's where he needs to be. I think he said the right things. Red Rocket, Ryan says. What's up, Ryan? Okay, we can go with that. I really like that he said it doesn't matter whether I get first team or second team snaps. I'm just here to learn. And he made mention of that quite a bit. He needs to learn, So to put him at 1.5 QB already, okay, y'all, whatever, that's fine. But he said he wants to learn, and he doesn't care whether he's taking first or second team snaps. He also just said I want to compete and try to do what's best for the team. So I was happy with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think all our quarterbacks are saying the right things. I'm glad that Sam Darnold ain't coming in cocky, thinking, I have the most experience out of all these players, and I need to be handed for first team reps or whatever the case. I mean, he's coming in humble, saying he just wants reps, period. Because I'm a true believer of as long as they're out there and they're seeing what you can do, if it's your time to come, it's going to come. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they're going to be like, man, he's, this quarterback ain't it right now, so let's try this one or whatever the case may be. You go on, you do your thing. Everybody's going to shut up about it. So, the thing about Sam Darnold, and I posted this earlier. It's like, it's funny to me how people are who can sit in the same breath say I'm a believer of Sam Darnold and think he can change his career around, but then say I don't believe in Trey Lance. Like, those two don't coincide with each other. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's a suspect answer if you ask me. Like, how can you believe in one and not the other when both of them, you can say, whether you think they didn't look good, whatever the case may be, you can argue Sam Darnold's sample size is worse than Trey Lance's because he's played so many games. He's still shown he doesn't have it together. So, but he's on the team. Like you said, I'm a ride for him. I've never had any issue with Sam Darnold's talent.
Yeah.
As far as his arm, he can make every throw. He's sneaky athletic. He can scoot outside the pocket. To me, it's always with him mental. Yeah. If he can get that mental aspect in him, he has it in him. He has a talent to be good in this league if he can get past that. So I have no issue with Sam Darnold being on this team. I know a lot of people are pissed and they bring up every day he sees goals, this and that. You know what? All that can change. I've seen many of quarterbacks in my 43 years of life so that they can turn it around. I mean, even one that came to our team in a Steve Young. You know what I'm saying? So I don't count anybody out until they show me that they needed to be count out, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So until because who knows? I mean, I'm not saying he's gonna come in here and be a Geno Smith. Can it happen? It could. So I don't gonna doubt anybody. Look at Rich Gannon for the Raiders. Took him a long time before he became a
Oh
good
yeah.
quarterback. So
Good
it
one.
just, so I'm not gonna sit here and say Sam Darnold doesn't have it and he sucks and all this other stuff, because honestly, we'll see what he can do. But I mean, but his track record shows this is his third team in 6 years. He's averaging 2 years on every team he's been on. So let's see if he can turn it around.
Yeah. I want to say what's up to Ryan. Good to see you. Also, we got Avion in the building. What up? What up? Got Bryant, BC. What's up, Bryant? Yeah. So that wraps up the quarterbacks and all that. I want to ask you guys this, the last topic that we have.
Oh well.
And then get ready, chat, because we're going to be doing a giveaway for CMC coming up to end the show. So think of your lucky numbers. I want to ask you guys this. So we know OTAs, they're not, the team doesn't have to be there, right? It's not mandatory. However, most of the team does show up, right? Up until this point, we know that, Nick Bosa is usually one that doesn't come. I was kind of wondering, because we know that he's in contract talk, should be, at least. Hopefully they are. And so why would he come regardless, right? But Joey showed up to OTAs, Joey Bosa, and when he was asked, why, because normally he's not there either, he said that his team wanted him to be there. And so he was training with Nick, but he came in for OTAs because his team asked him to be there. Okay. So Nick, I get. But there's some other players that didn't show up that is kind of questionable. So before we get into that, I kind of want to know your guys' feelings on how you feel when players aren't showing up, even though it's not mandatory. Do you have an issue with them not showing up? You think it's cool? They can just be off doing their own thing while the rest of the team's there practicing. Kind of where are you guys at with that whole situation? And of course, I know for each player, sometimes it's not going to be a straight across rule, right? No, everybody has to be there. There's going to be some circumstances that, are different. But, overall, just how you guys are feeling.
For me, we got Jay Street in the building. Oh, my God. That's one of my good folks. So I'm not sure if you really quick before I say anything about that. If you're not subscribed to these two, Jay, please check out the channel and subscribe. Good to see you, man. So like you said, I think that there's different strokes for different folks a little bit. Number 97 does not need to come to training camp. OTAs. Number 71 does not need to come to OTAs. In my opinion, every other motherfucker on the team needs to come to OTAs. That's just me. Like I said, sometimes I take it a little bit too seriously. But when I look up and I see number 3 is not at OTAs, Ray McLeod, what are you doing? Not coming to OTAs, bruh. You need to be there. Okay, so apparently it's Debo, Ray, Trent, Nick, and there's one other. It's escaping me.
Javon Hargrave.
Yeah, he gets a pass too.
I don't think so. He's brand new with this team.
I'm having a problem with it a little bit. I try to give him a pass, but then I was like, okay, East Coast big timer. You don't got to come to OTAs and shit. You're brand new to the team.
You never spent one day with this fucking team.
You are brand new to the team.
After we just handed you a big ass fucking contract.
What are you doing? So, and then but he is a star. So like I would say, maybe next year, Javon would not have to come to OTAs, but this year I would have liked him to have been there. myself personally.
Exactly.
And Ray McLeod, get you
Oh,
your
he needs to
hair
be there.
and your
Yeah, I
fucking
didn't know
whole
he wasn't
entire
there.
Ray McLeod. I knew he wasn't there before it came out because my kids showed me his Instagram, and it was him doing work. Right, he was in the park. It was like Monday or Sunday. I was like, this nigga's not at it's not at OTA. And then sure enough, yesterday he is not there. Right, you take your hair and your whole style, Logan. You need to get to Santa Clara ASAFP. That's what I have to say about it. And you too, I'm so sorry. I work from home, so I got to get back to work.
Yep.
I'm actually 20
You know, it's
minutes
all
over.
good, bro.
I wanted to say
appreciate you
thank
I
coming
y'all.
on.
appreciate you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a great time. I'm glad for the seat. To all the faithful, take it easy on all the players. That means me too. Even if you see me on Twitter acting stupid, don't worry. I'll be better a little bit later on. Just take it easy on the players. Take it easy on Kyle. And please subscribe to Faithfully, 49, Mariah, TL. I love both of them sincerely. They're excellent 49ers content creators. So if you're not already, jump on their ship. And you too, thank you sincerely. This was excellent.
Appreciate you. Thank you for coming
Yeah, I
on.
appreciate
I'll
that.
still be watching it as well right now, y'all.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you stopping by, man.
Niner gang faithful.
Yeah, I can agree with you and Lawrence on that one. I guess for Javon Hargrave because it is his first year, you know. But there's certain ones. So I'm gonna say two different ways. You know, if you're a Fred Warner, if you're a Nick Bosa, a Trent Williams, George Kittle, okay, you know, if you say I'm going to work out because you have a track record of being a beast, you know, on the football field. However, me personally, you having all these problems with the quarterback position, I think whether you're a star or not, you should probably be there, especially on offense. Like if I'm Kyle Juszczyk, I'm not saying these people aren't there. I'm just saying if they decided to not show up and they were just like, oh well, I don't want to, I can understand it. But at the same time, I think with the way this thing is going, that they should be there. Same thing, and I guess too, not only with Javon Hargrave being the first year guy, we have a new defensive coordinator as well. You know what I mean? So having a new defensive coordinator, maybe they should say, okay, you know what, let me get my butt to OTA so I can learn this scheme and be there to help, you know, mentor some people, whatever the case may be. So I guess it's kind of like a catch-22. I can get why some people wouldn't be there, but I would give a pass to certain guys. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, if an Ambry Thomas tried to say I'm working out on my own, no, bro, you need to get your butt here. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy, Ambry Thomas. Like Ambry Thomas, you know, even like a Juwan Jennings, like, no, bro, you need to come. You know what I mean? If it was guys in that nature, guys who haven't been Pro Bowlers, all pro, stuff like that, I feel like 97-98% of the team should be there, unless you're one of the guys I've named. So, yeah.
What's up, media? I saw Rohan up in here too. Appreciate you guys coming through. What up? What up? All right. So those that already entered their numbers, you know, since nobody asked for numbers yet, none of those numbers count. So,
oh,
good job with those.
All right.
All right. Because I didn't want the numbers all in all this because there's two chats I'm having to go through now because Lawrence chat's here too. So, but yeah, go ahead and enter your numbers now. We'll do this CMC giveaway.
Okay.
This is what we're doing the giveaway for. CMC Crusade. Finally got some CMC in his 49ers uniform out there. So
Okay.
good luck, everybody.
So for the chat, everybody, the first number starts at number 3 at, what was it?
29.
29 after by 3:29 Pacific time with Brian Cope at number 3. Steve-O Supremo, give us a whole number, please. None of this 3.5 crap.
It's between 1 and 100, Big City Man.
Juwan Jennings, he has a dog, but don't tell me he should be excused from OTAs.
No.
Like, no.
Dog
like,
or not, you're there to
now.
work with your team.
Come on now. Yeah.
I'm mad that freaking Debo ain't there, so why would excuse freaking Juwan Jennings?
Juwan Jennings, yeah.
Like, give me a break.
Yeah, that's...
No, but the reason I brought that up, and why we're doing the CMC giveaway is because the question was to everybody in that presser, pretty much about CMC's, work ethic, and that, he's a vet. He's probably the best at his position that we have on our team, besides left tackle.
Exactly.
Yet he's there working, right? And we know he keeps in great shape. He does his own work outside of the 49ers facility. So, if he can make it, and it's just like, I think this team really needs to like pay attention to who they're just throwing a C on the chest. And you're, giving captaincy to people that are just the homies, but aren't really there winning, like your goal is to win a fucking championship, not to be out while the rest of your team's at the facility working. You're out fucking sipping margaritas poolside somewhere. Like, we don't know what the fuck you're out there doing, but we know that the rest of the teams they're working like they're supposed to be. At the end of the day, that's what we know.
That's true.
So Debo, year after year after year after year, he shows up to training camp out of shape. The first how many ever weeks of the season, he's out of shape. He's pulling this, he's pulling that, he's pulling a hammy, he's pulling a fucking, whatever.
A quad or whatever. Yeah.
And it's just like, last year, okay, you were in contract negotiations. Fine. I understand not coming to work when you're trying to get paid, but you already got paid. And then you showed up for the season out of shape. You didn't give us hardly shit throughout the season that, to warrant that freaking payday that you got. And now come this season, you're not in freaking OTAs again. So what? You're going to show up again out of shape because you're out there eating fucking hot fries and Snickers instead of there working with your fucking team? Like, you're a professional fucking athlete. You should be acting as such. You should be keeping your body in tip-top shape. And we know coming out of college, his coaches said, oh, he doesn't keep up on his body. Oh, he needs to be strict to his diet because he gains weight fast. Okay, great. If you know that that's the type of body that you have, if you're not a professional athlete, fine. Go be a fat ass sitting on your couch. I could care less. But when you're a professional athlete and this is what you're getting paid to do, you should be in tip-top shape, fucking ready to perform day one when that fucking team needs you. And Debo hasn't been that.
Yeah. No, that's some excellent points. I guess, the bright side of it, if there is one, is that they're giving people like, let's just say Debo's not there or whatever, and somebody said Ray wasn't there, but then some people in the chat were saying he was. So let's just say Ray and Debo weren't there. That's more reps for a Danny Gray. That's more reps for like a Ronnie Bell, people who need them, just like on the D line. You don't have Bosa there. You don't have Hargrave there. So it's Kalia Davis getting more reps because he needs them. Robert Bill, stuff like that. So that's the only thing I can say as a bright side. But like you said, you're absolutely 100% on point with the Debo thing. Like, you come in out of shape pretty much every year. And like you said, last year you get a pass because of what was going on. He probably scared to work out, injure yourself, and now your contract negotiations go down the drain. You know what I mean? But like you said, I guess, he was showing those videos. Did you see those videos? He was working out with DeAndre Hopkins and Saquon Barkley and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like, I agree with the captain
they're
thing.
not your
Like,
teammates.
just
you're
don't
not building.
yeah,
You're
like
not building chemistry with
no
them. You need to
chemistry.
be in there
Yeah.
building chemistry with your new fucking quarterbacks.
Quarterback, yes. So yes, that's why I said, like, it's you have a situation going on with the quarterback. It's not like you got Patrick Mahomes at quarterback and you got chemistry with him and he knows you like the back of his hand. Like, we have an issue with the quarterback going on in 6-7 years in a row now. We don't even know who the heck's gonna be the starter or whatever the case may be. You need to go in there, get the reps and stuff like that. So yeah, I can see both sides, but I agree with you on the Debo thing. But like, Nick Bosa has a track record. He comes in excellent shape. Like, he comes in excellent shape. He comes in, he does his thing. So if he doesn't want to be there, fine. But like I said, it's one of those things where it's like you do have a new D coordinator though. So maybe that right there would make me say, okay, we have a new coordinator. There's going to be a few changes. This and that. Unless your position coach, he vouches for you, because I feel like the position coaches probably keep up with their guys all, through all the off season. How are you doing? What's going on? This and that. And if Nick Bosa is just like, look, I just want to stay in Florida. I always come in great shape. I perform. And Chris Caceres probably telling, Wilkes and Kyle, like, you know what, I'm gonna excuse Bosa because this is what he told me, whatever the case may be. But like I said, if you have like Drake Jackson calling you, oh, I just want to work out here. Nah, bruh, you need to come into OTAs. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? So I see both sides.
Yeah. I'm not saying there's no way that I'm saying that freaking Bosa should be there. Absolutely not. And he's never been. So why would we expect him, especially when he's in contract talks?
Yeah.
Like that's not what this conversation is about. Nick Bosa, Trent Williams, that's not what this is about. It's about these other guys that should be there, that don't show up in great shape, that don't show up ready to go, or that are brand new on the team that should be there working and that aren't.
Yeah. Facts.
All right, everybody in for this giveaway. So yeah, we'll probably talk about in another show when we do the roster predictions and stuff. Who we think will get captains, but I think that this man right here will have a C on his chest come week 1.
Look at Ty's comment. It's on the screen.
I've been hearing like they're saying that he looks freaking skinny, that he looks too light. So I'm interested to see, because I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if he can give us 10 games, I'll be happy. Let's just see, as a rotational piece.
John V. Ryan, we must be twins, girls. Your thoughts are mine. Good, Christy. Cool. I'm glad. Nick and Trent don't touch the ball. Yeah, true that.
Yep.
All right. Get those numbers in. What's going to make it hard is that the people in Lawrence's stream can't tell, if they're entering a duplicate. So
you have to go by timestamps, huh?
Let me see. Yes, that makes it hard when it's 2 different streams, chats, because our chat can't see his chat. Thank you, Steve-O. Looks like, that should be the only one, I think, is Big City. It took number 75.
Okay.
All right, so let me load up this, and we'll get this giveaway done, and we'll get on out of here. Appreciate you, chat, as always, for being here. Hour and a half today. I know there's a lot of streams, a lot of content creators had videos going today. So we appreciate you all showing up. All right, let's get this in here. All right.
I hate playing that game.
10 more seconds. Especially because they make it so that everything falls out. Like you pick it up and it's like.
Exactly.
All right. Good luck, everybody. Here we go. This first CMC card. $76.
You said somebody had 75 on there?
Yeah, Big City Man has 75.
Dina had 74. That's crazy. One off. Big City Man.
So unless 75. Somebody gets 76 on the dot, Big City Man gonna take it.
Big City Man got it.
Well, Big City Man, you asked how you play, how you win. There's how you play and win, my friends. Congrats.
You ask, you shall receive, huh?
Yep. Congrats to Big City Man. So, Big City Man, do you have Twitter?
Tanya said her daughter is hella good at that game.
Big
I'm good at
City.
cornhole. I'm good at cornhole, and I'm good at that ice hockey game. I'm real good at that.
Lauren, so now you're not jealous anymore. Okay. No, you don't need to make one. It's okay. Here, I'm going to put my email and then just email me your mailing info so that once I do the next mail day, then I'll mail it out to you. All right. So here's my email. I have it there on the screen.
Oh, I saw it, JV.
Hey, don't.
Sorry.
I have it there on the screen.
I saw
You
it,
can
JV.
Just email me your mailing info. Congrats again.
This fool
So,
tried to
yeah.
say in case you missed it. Oh, I didn't miss you saying that the first time. Trust me, brother.
Any
That's
closing
dirty.
thoughts?
That's dirty. No, I just want to bring up something that I had sent to your DMs about the show. We didn't have time to get to it, but they had somebody came out with the head coach power rankings, and it seemed like a lot of the faithful were mad because they had Kyle Shanahan 8th. Which, there's a couple people, who, and I know we talked about this earlier. We like to be biased. You know what I'm saying? So I know it's what you've done from me lately, but him being 8th, in my opinion, is too low. Bill Belichick to me is no longer number one. It's Andy Reid.
Mm-hmm.
But I have no problem with Andy Reid, Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh, or Doug Peterson, or even Sean Payton being ahead of Kyle Shanahan. I don't. Those guys have a great track record. They've been coaches for a long time. John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin always seem to make the playoffs, regardless of how many injuries they have, stuff like that on their team. Their quarterback can go down like we did, kind of like what we did with us, and they can still make the playoffs. In a tough conference like the AFC is tough, and they still happen to make it, and they both have Super Bowl wins under their belts. So there's nothing wrong with them or Doug Peterson being argued of being like a top coach. Everybody says no. I think Kyle Shanahan is number 2. Well, you know what? Until he wins the Super Bowl, I think him being talked about being 5th or 6th, there's not a problem with that. I don't know how the chat feels about it, but like I said, Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh, Doug Peterson, Sean Payton, Andy Reid. There's nothing wrong with them being ahead of Kyle Shanahan, in my opinion. So, like I said, it's for me, I would say that Kyle Shanahan, if you want to put him 6, I think that's fair. As a play caller, it's different. We're not talking about play calling, we're talking about coaching. As a play caller, he's top 3. As a coach, it's okay for him to be outside of the top 5, and some people need to understand that.
There you have it.
Yep.
Ryan says, is Sean Payton that good? I would say he's better than Kyle because of the Super Bowl, but is he really that good?
Well, that's why I said 5th. I don't think he's I think he's I know he took a year off, and who knows what he's going to come back and
we'll see
like
this year without Drew Brees.
We'll see without Drew Brees. I truly believe he's going to revise Russell Wilson. I don't think he's going to play as bad as he played last year. He's going into a second year, and I know the system's going to be different, but the weapons seem to be healthy. Sean Payton's a great play caller as well, and I feel like he'll use Russell Wilson to his strengths. So yeah, as of now, who knows? But yeah, I think for him to be 6th on the list as a coach, or like I said, this list has him at 8th. I don't think that Pete Carroll is above him or Sean McVay. At least, if you want to argue Pete Carroll, fine, because Pete Carroll seems like he always has the Seahawks come to play as well. I have no issue with that. So let's just say you take out Sean McVay, because I feel like Sean McVay is not a better coach overall than Kyle. Even if you take out Sean McVay, you got Kyle Shanahan at 7th as a head coach, and I don't see an issue with that. Yep.
Denise, the biggest Kyle Shan stan, says, I love Kyle, and sounds like a fair list to me. So
yeah.
If Denise says it, then that's
exactly. And we all know how much Denise loves her some Kyle. So yeah, like I said, folks, this is not play calling, not offensive mind. Yes, Kyle Shanahan, top 3 play caller. Head coach, 6th or 7th, I'm fine with that. And that's all I had to add.
All right. Okay, Big City Man, appreciate it. So yeah, chat, we appreciate you guys. Make sure again that you're subscribed to both channels. If you're not subscribed to Lawrence, again, his link to his show is in the description of this video. So whether you're here live or you're watching back on playback, jeez, make sure that you follow that link and you subscribe to him. Platform 246 if you're not already. And yeah, as always, chat, you're the best. We couldn't do what we do without you. So
Absolutely.
we love y'all. Everybody have a great rest of your week. Let me see. What do I have tomorrow? No, I know for sure that I will be back Monday sometime with Jess from East Coast Red and Gold. So
cool.
make sure you got those bells on. Keep out an eye because we'll be doing a show. And then, yeah,
and then
you know,
I come
the normal.
back. I come back from Texas Wednesday evening, so we can probably do a show on Thursday. When I come back, I like how you said instead of playback, you said pay black. I was talking to my son the other day, and we are talking about him going to the doctor's appointment, and somehow instead of me saying nurse and doctor, I said nurse and doctor. I don't know how that happened, but it happened.
Yeah,
I
that's
switched
funny.
the D. I switched the first letter on the words, and it was funny. He was like, "Durst and Nocter." I go, "You know what I meant."
It's funny the way like our brain just switches stuff, you know, right?
Yep.
Like without us even knowing, it just comes out.
Yeah, I thought that was crazy. So yeah.
All right, chat. Yep. We appreciate y'all. Everybody have a great rest of your week. Have a great and safe weekend. We'll see you guys when we see you guys. Much love. We're out of here.